Trustee Horn to join us. I know that she's here, so just give us a few minutes, and then we'll start. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call our regular board meeting, rescheduled board meeting to order at 7:33 in the Village Chambers located 2350 South 25th Avenue. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Miller.
Here.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Trustee Senior.
Here.
Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum. Can we
Thank
please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Can we all pause for a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item 2, public comments. The Village of Broadview encourages citizen input. Those wishing to address the village board under public comments must fill out the attached speaker request form and submit it to the village clerk prior to the start of the board meeting. The president will then call your name at the appropriate time. When addressing the village board, your remarks are limited to 3 minutes, please. When the president recognizes you, please state your name and address for the record and speak loudly. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. Thank you. At this time, can we please ask that all PDAs, cell phones, or mobile devices be put on silent? And item 3, Madam President, public comments.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Ms. Redmond?
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor Thompson, board, residents, administrators, Shirley Redmond, 2246 South 24th Avenue. Back about 3 months ago or more, on June 3rd, I had asked, after we had the ribbon cutting for our wonderful new chamber, whether we were going to get the push button for the door, if it was ADA compliant, and I'm wondering where we are. I didn't hear any more about it. I've heard a lot of people say it's heavy for them. Mm-hmm. And I know that, we might be in the difference between different codes that say one thing, but as a resident, since we're not going to do any renovations in another 10 years, I would encourage that we get the latest and get it in there, because I think it would be a good investment. Mm-hmm. Okay, so would like you all to consider that. Also, I wanted to thank Trustee Jones for at least staying on Monday when your meeting was canceled. He was here letting the residents know that it was canceled. And I know we have an email address thing, and some of us sign up for it and some of us don't. I'd like to also suggest we've got a nice electronic changeable board out there. Wondering if there are ever any changes in a meeting for that day, if you could just put it on pause and say, meeting canceled, reschedule, or whatever, so those that don't have, they have flip phones or whatever, can at least take a look at it and know that the meeting is canceled. It would be another way to communicate with the residents. Okay, and for those of you not aware of the Broadview food pantry, we had a hunger walk. We are still collecting donations. You can go on the Chicago Depository Board website and make a donation to the food pantry, or you can go on the Broadview Food Pantry Facebook and look up Team Broadview. We're doing a lot of wonderful things, and you're welcome to come if you need service. We're there on Tuesdays from 6 to 7:30, and on Wednesdays 11 to 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to address your concerns now so that we can get the village board meeting over with. So the push button for the ADA compliance for the entrance doors, we are getting proposals from Riley Constructions as it relates to that, so it's just getting the information so that we can present it to the board. So that is coming. We do recognize that was a shortcoming on our end. As it relates to the village board meeting being canceled, typically, because we do have the nice electronic board in the front, we would have utilized that to publish that the meeting had been canceled, but we having some technical difficulties with that. We need to replace some things as it relates to the digital board, so it wasn't intentionally that we didn't want to announce it to the community, but things do happen. So I appreciate your comments, Ms. Redmond. Ms. Jackson, Regina Jackson.
Regina Jackson is not here.
Okay, thank you. No, you can't, because you need to fill out a form. Are you Ms. Celestine Scales? Come on up. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Celestine Scales. Sure, thank you. My name is Celestine Scales. I am Regina Jackson's mother.
Okay.
We have concerns about the corner houses and the parking situation that was handed to my grandson about a month or two ago. I've been living in Broadview since 1996, December. I have never encountered so many problems with the parking overnight in front of your house, anywhere, until my grandson moved in my house at 2228 Elizabeth Drive in Broadview, Illinois. He moved in the house with me. He's got a little blue car that causes all the problems. I can't believe that I bet you I've spent about $500 paying tickets for my grandson since he moved at Elizabeth Drive in my home, next door to this man that causes all the problems, causing all the police to stop him, and Broadview police, Riverside police to stop him. He told me that if my grandkids continued to drive and play the music loud and speed down the street, which I do not think that they did, so they were going to get ticketed. He wasn't lying. They got ticketed. I even called and asked, why am I getting so many tickets when I drive down Summerdale going to 25th Avenue practically every day, and people are parked on between the street and the curb on top of the sidewalk. It happens. They told me, well, maybe it wasn't this time that I sent my guys out to do the watch or the look, whatever they did. But anyhow, they weren't ticketed. And I personally drove up and down the street to see if these cars were ticketed. Overnight, on the curve, none of them were ticketed except 2228 Elizabeth Drive. Anywhere it was parked, it got ticketed. I came home one day and one of the police officers from Broadview was putting a ticket on the little blue car. And I said, why are you putting a ticket on there? Well, I said, I'm here, I can move it. It's too late. You weren't here in time enough. The ticket has to go on. I was, you know, I made him move to 2250 South 21st Avenue with his mother. He called me one day and said, Grandma, you just won't believe what happened. Police just hand me a ticket and said, a piece of paper saying that I can't park between Regina's garage plank and the sidewalk. I said, when did that happen? He said it's an ordinance. Well, I've been in Broadview for 30-some years practically, and I ain't seen no audience like that. And can nobody tell me that this is not a personal attack on Reggie Jackson?
Does that conclude your comment, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna address your concerns now. The police chief is here, and just so you know, we do have trustees that's sending us emails and inquiring about overnight parking or sidewalk parking. We do have ordinances in place to enforce the rules and the policy of Broadview. The police chief is in the back. I will deter you to talk to him because he's the chief of the police department that enforced the rules for us, but we do have ordinances in place. They're posted on our website, and when you do receive a citation of such nature, it's always in compliance with the rules were. Previous administrations didn't enforce the rules as it relates to the ordinance, and so now that this administration is in place, if we all have to be accountable to serving the public, we have to enforce the rules. And so this is a conversation that we got to continuously have because some people have shorter driveways than the property allow. We do have overnight parking where you have to register the vehicle via the website. So maybe your grandson may need some training on how to register his vehicle for overnight parking. We no longer accept phone calls in as it relates to the overnight parking. But I'm gonna deter you to speak with the chief of police with these issues because this is an issue, and I don't know what the issues are, but I think if you work with the police department, I commend our police department on enforcing rules and keeping us safe in Broadview and protecting the community to the utmost. So they standards is excellence at all times. But it's a dialogue that we have to have with the residents because in the past we have not been proactive in enforcing the rules, but now we are engaging in that conversation. So we try to put the information out in our newsletters, our website, village meetings, committee meetings to reinforce that. And sometimes that information don't get articulated or get out to the community in the way that it should.
Well, maybe we need, the residents need a copy of all those things.
So you can find all of that, you can find all of the ordinance on the website. So for the particular issues that you have, like I said, I'm gonna deter you to the police department, but I'm not gonna go back and forth with you because we gotta conduct business. But I just wanted to let you know that we're here to work with you and support you and try to rectify the issues to make it where it's a friendly, livable community for you and your grandson. But you're gonna have to work with the police to resolve some of the issues, and I don't know what they are based off the conversation tonight. So Chief Uglin, if you can get some contact information from Ms. Scales and kind of see what's going on to give her some relief, that would be great. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Ms. Scales, thank you. Mr. Andrew Rouse.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, trustees.
Good evening.
Village people, my baseball team, how are you all? I am here for a complaint that I've had for the last 20 years. When my kids were small, I live at 2344 South 16th. That street right there, 16th and 17th Avenue, has so much traffic that comes through there that is not village traffic, that is traffic trying to avoid the light at 17th and Roosevelt. Earlier, I tried my hardest to get a cul-de-sac. I was being selfish. I just wanted to block my street off and, have my kids to be able to play over there and that type of thing. But now my kids are grown in college and gone and all that other stuff, and I still have the same problem. My cameras go off more times between 7:30 and 9 o'clock, and from
Is that AM or PM?
AM, and from 3 o'clock till around 5:30, 6 o'clock, there is so much traffic that is coming by, triggering my cameras. These guys are speeding through. They're not following the rules of the road, and I don't know if there are any laws or ordinances that require people not to come through our community, no thoroughfare. And what I would like to ask the board and the mayor, is there any way we can put signs on 17th to have no through traffic like I see in other communities at this time, between this time and this time, which are typically the rush hour times, so that we don't have people cutting through our community that don't care about our kids, and we can avoid some of this transient traffic coming through. So that's one of my concerns. Hopefully it's something that you guys can look at, and I look forward to whatever you guys come up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rouse. So I'm glad that you brought that to our attention. The police chief, once again, he's the police chief, so he's responsible for traffic patrol and those types of things. So he heard the conversation. I'm sure he heard the time or hours that these violations are taking place. We can't control people coming and driving in through town, but what we can monitor is we can control the speed. We can monitor the hours that you gave us, so we can look into that. And I like the idea of because I'm around the corner from you, so I get the same experience. So I'm sure that between the safety committee, because that's a safety committee issue that they have to kind of hash out and do all of the research to make sure that we're not violating anybody rights as it relates to the traffic component. But we can't put up signage, we can't put up the marquee with the speed limits and those types of things to deter some of that. But the chief and his staff will address some of those concerns, and when we have our department head meeting, we can circle back to see what that looked like for the village of Broadview. So I appreciate that. That's important. Thank you. All right, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 3 is communications. I have a bunch here, but before I do that, I'd like to yield the floor to the mayor as we introduce and recognize the Broadview Sidewinders. Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So it brings me great pleasure that we have an opportunity to serve the residents and the families that represent Broadview and this, the Sidewinders, Broadview Sidewinders. We have other baseball teams that's in town, but these kids are not residents of Broadview, but these are actually residents of Broadview that brought home a championship. Point up your rings. And so we just want to say that we commend you guys for representing Broadview, for being a resident, for shining your light in the area that you played. And I'm going to yield the floor to either Coach Rouse or Coach Perry to kind of tell us the background on how all of this went. But Coach Perry, he sent me this picture with these kids, and I didn't even know we had a separate baseball team because the park is the park. But we do have 2 outfits in town, but this is the team that actually live in Broadview, who we should be supporting 1,000%. 1,000%. Not saying the other kids don't deserve to be supported, but these are residents of ours that our tax dollars support these kids. And I just wanted for the record to show that we support you 1,000% on the good deed that you did by bringing home a champion. You really put Broadview on the map in doing that baseball thing that you do. So I commend you. Congratulate you, the coaches for doing a good job, the parents, because it's not easy when you have kids in youth sports and it's competitive. And we support that you support your kids and you there with them when they bring home championship rings. I've never seen a young baseball team bring home championship rings, not in Broadview. I've never seen it. I just haven't. Have you all seen it?
I haven't seen nothing.
Have you all seen it? I have never seen that, so that just really excited me that you guys are like world champions, like the World Series champions. And you're from Broadview. So that's a big deal, so we commend you. So I'm gonna yield the floor to the trustees to say a few words if they would like to say anything, and then the coaches to come and introduce the team, and we get to actually keep the trophy here in Village Hall, I heard.
What? Really?
That's what I heard.
Did the trustees want to say something now, or you want to wait?
Well, so being a parent of a child that was in competitive sports, I appreciate coaches that actually care about making sure that kids succeed. I've had an active relationship with Coach Rouse on the football level, when my daughter wanted to play football, and they wouldn't let her. And just on a personal level with him and Coach Perry. And so, again, kudos, thank you. Congratulations, young men. You guys are doing it big. Teach me how to hit a ball or something. But thank you for having courage to go out there and take on the world. Thanks.
Yes. First, I want to congratulate the team. That's an awesome experience to have, that you get to the championship and you win and you got the rings. I mean, a lot of kids dream about that. And you guys saw it, dreamt it, and you made it happen. So congratulations to you guys for doing that. And thank you for representing the village of Broadview. I also want to thank the coaches that put time in. And I know, as coaches, we have to give up a lot of our personal time for other kids, and I've been in that situation, so I totally understand. So I want to thank you guys for taking that time, making them better, representing the community, and giving them an opportunity to go on for high school, for college, whatever their dreams may be. So I'm glad you guys are in their lives, and that's really important. I also want to thank the parents that supported their students and their athletes. I should say their student athletes. I'm so used to saying that as a college recruiter, so. To the parents, you guys give up a lot of time, and I know I have a college student athlete, so knowing how much time we have to put in and the sacrifices we have to make in our personal lives for our children, that's a great honor. You did a great job. They're young enough. They're enjoying this time, and I mean, and as far as the village, this is wonderful that we had this opportunity that they got to represent and put us on the map. So to the parents, thank you for all the time that you guys give to them. And I know it's not, you probably have a few other kids, so I know how important it is, family. So kudos to you guys. Thank you guys so much.
I would like to start off by saying congratulations. That is such an honor, and I'm so proud of you guys. I've never seen a ring with you guys at that age level where you can obtain a ring like that. So congratulations, and I would like to also thank the parents and the coaches, because they always say it starts off with the head. So it's just going to trickle down, and look at what you guys did. I'm so proud of you guys. It's so amazing.
I would see the team practicing in the park, and I would just kind of stop and watch, and I was really impressed. So I was an athlete coming up. I ran track and field. It transferred into everything that you do. So just stay committed, keep playing the sport, don't stop doing it, even if you don't get the trophies and things. The character that comes along with it will carry you throughout everything. So I'm really proud of you guys, and I have to say I'm feeling like it's kind of my win too.
It is.
I'm happy to be in Broadview right now. It's feeling a little extra good at the moment, so I'm proud of you guys. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
First off, I want to thank the mayor and the trustees for inviting us tonight and having us here. We really do appreciate it. Also, the audience, parents, and fellow residents. I'll give you one more tidbit. The team that we beat in the championship game, Was that Oak Park? That was Oak Park.
Wow.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I know you guys got a lot of business to take care of tonight, so I'm just going to go through the kids, read their names, if they'll stand up and come up front real quick. And the ones that got the special awards also, I will mention that as I call them out. And once we're done, we'll take a quick picture and we'll get out of you guys' hair so you can take care of the village business tonight. Number 1, Jalen Johnson. J1 was also our MVP. He was our most improved player this year, as well as the defensive player of the year. So this guy made some outstanding plays. I'm telling you, if he stays with baseball, he's got a chance. Number 13, Nicholas Gutierrez. Youngest guy on the team, but he's got the most fire, trust me. He takes nothing from anyone. Jalen Johnson, number 3. Another guy, number 3. Where you going to high school at this year? IC. He's in IC right now. Yep. Excellent. He's the only one on the team that actually is going to high school next year.
Straight A student. Straight A student. Double promotion.
Jalen Horry, number 34. We call him the Rock. Jalen does a lot of pitching, and he's one of our outstanding outfielders. That kid plays right field like nobody's business. Joel Malicio, number 8. Rubber Band Man. Also, Joel was the Cy Young winner this year. So he's the best pitcher on the team. Malik Johnson, is he here? Malik Johnson's missing, number 17. Number 12, Antonio Gutierrez. Antonio led the team in the tournament. He was also the tournament MVP that we won. No. Number 45, Ryan Washington. We call him Robo-Man. He was a batting champion on the team. He had the highest batting average as well as the team MVP for the year. Steven Majestica, are you here? Number 4. Steven is another one of our outstanding pitchers, and he was the fireballer of the year. That kid has a fastball. He has one of the fastest fastballs on the team, if not in the league. Marcus Williams, number 2. Baby Bear. Baby Bear is one of our outstanding shortstops. We couldn't have did it without him. Number 9, Lewis Mahoney. That's his name, Lou. Lou also was our relief pitcher of the year. He saved more games than anyone. Number 14, Stefan Todorovic. Another outstanding pitcher. This guy's coming a long way. He played first base for us this year, and he was outstanding. And last but not least, and I don't think he's here, is Emmanuel Thresher. He's not here, right? Emmanuel's not here. He's number 51. He just joined the team this year, but we wanted to also invite him in here as well. And we have two more that are missing. Patrick McDowell. He's actually number 21. Unfortunately, he plays football and decided to stay out of baseball for fall, but he was a part of the team as well. And David Vajesica, number 16 as well. I'm sorry. Give me your last name. And with that, this is your 2019 Broadview Sidewinders champions for 2019. Congratulations, guys. Thanks again, everyone. We enjoyed it, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Our pleasure. That's nice. I know they I think Coach also Coach Perry. All right, Mr. Clerk, we ready. You text.
All right. We're going to continue on with communications, item 3. On Thursday, September 26, 2019, starting at 5:30 p.m., we'll have the Public Safety Open House right over at the Fire Department. This is a joint effort between our fire and police departments. Please join us for our annual open house, extrication fire demonstration, police demonstrations, Jack's the police dog, EMS emergency demonstration, safety education, building tours, vehicle tours. Explorers will be selling hot dogs, chips, and soda. They'll have flu shots, and they will end the evening with a movie at Pioneer Park. And if you remember, during the National Night Out, we had the technical difficulties in which we had to postpone the showing of the movie, so this is that movie. Again, Public Safety Open House, Thursday, September 26, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. Next, we have Community Shred Day. We had one earlier this year, and this is the second and last of the year. Saturday, October 19th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., right here at Village Hall parking lot. This is your chance to get rid of all your important documents that you no longer need. Shred and safety. Your confidence is important. Next, we have the Cook County Open House Meeting. Updated preliminary flood insurance rate maps are being released for Cook County. Stop by at any time between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. to view the maps. Learn about your risk of flooding and how your property may be impacted. This is September 26, 2019, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Winnetka Village Hall, Council Chambers. I'm reading the address as 510 Green Bay Road in Winnetka, Illinois. And this is given by FEMA in Cook County. On September 26th, from 3 to 5 p.m., right here at Village Hall. And also on October 5th, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here at Village Hall, we're going to have Census Job Recruiting. The Census is hiring. They have tons of jobs. These jobs start at $18 to $23 an hour. You can come here and register right online, or you can register online at home if you don't wish to attend the seminar. Again, that's September 26th, 3 to 5 p.m., October 5th, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, right here at Village Hall. Lastly, we have Senior Bingo Bash. I have these flyers in the back on the table. This Senior Bingo Bash is going to be October 5th, 2019, 1 o'clock p.m. over at Schroeder Park, located at 2600 South 13th Avenue. Seniors come out, play bingo, win prizes, and register for the Broadview Senior Club. That concludes communications for this evening, Mayor.
Thank you.
Next item is item 4, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the September 3rd, 2019 regular board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Horn, seconded by Trustee Senior. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, would you please read the warrant list?
No, we're doing the
Wait, aren't we on the minutes?
I thought you said
4.
Which item are we on?
Oh.
4.
Yeah, 4, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is the minutes, right?
I thought you said that. Okay. Trustee Miller?
Yeah, so I have one correction. Under, I'm trying to pull it back up, but under the discussion regarding the lobbyist payment, we have his name wrong on the very first line of that. I can't pull it up right now on my iPad quickly, but I think we have like Warren instead of Ronan.
Okay, Trustee Miller, I'll make a note of that correction and get it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Senior?
None.
Trustee Horn?
Nothing.
Roll call, please.
Roll call, trustee Miller.
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham?
I'll abstain because I wasn't here.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 4-0. All right. Next item, item 5, consideration to approve expenditures. Grand total of all funds, $446,556.11.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, will you please read the warrant list?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Our first vendor is B&F Construction Code Services, $6,518.90. Commonwealth Edison, $2,907.07. Core and Main LP, $33,121.14. Delgado Law Group LLC, $14,531.75. Echo Clean Maintenance Incorporated, $2,504. Edwin Hancock Engineering, $40,058.28. Groot Incorporated, $41,959.88. Gus Tasomas, $5,000. Hector Perez, $2,875. Home Depot Credit Services, $2,859.20. Montana and Welch LLC, $5,948.75. Riley Construction, $246,810.92. STP Transport, $3,850. West Central Municipal Conference, $9,910.28. Windstrom, $3,538.61. Total expenditures over $2,500 is $422,393.78. Our total expenditures, $446,556.11. Percentage of total is 95%. To the funds that are going to be charged. General Fund, $74,839.96. Garbage Fund, $41,959.88. Roosevelt Road TIF Fund, $6,417.50. 17th Avenue TIF North, $1,581.25. Capital Projects Fund, $286,419.45. Water and Sewage Fund, it's $35,338.07. Our grand total is $446,556.11. That's the end of my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No question.
Trustee Abraham?
No, I don't have any, and I was not notified that there was any issues on these invoices, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Senior?
Nothing.
Trustee Horn?
Nothing.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Madam President, this carries 4-0 to pay the bills.
Thank you.
Next item, item 6, village officer reports. Village officer reports are given at every second meeting of the month. We're going to start with the building department. Commissioner Dave Upshaw.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, residents.
Good evening.
Evening.
Thank you, Kevin. The building department report for the month of August is as follows. It is on record in the mayor's and the clerk's office. For the month of August 2019, the Village of Broadview Building Department had approximately $50,000 in revenue with 23 complaints. Those complaints were various, dealing with high grass, garbage, fences, animals, and certificate of occupancies. As it relates to our senior housing project, we're still doing environmental testing on the vacant lots and on our buildings, as well as we're working with our architects to move forward on the design of the actual, of the actual project. Regarding our enterprise zone on August 14, 2019, Steve McClure of Opportunity Alliance, which is our consultants that we have been working with, The State of Illinois Enterprise Zone Review Board approved our enterprise zone. That zone will commence January 1st, 2020. We will be monitoring it closely to make sure that if there are any legislative updates or any rules or any additional information needed as it relates to that zone, that we will be able to provide that along with the other municipalities that are part of that collaboration. We had 2 complaints on the last couple meetings as it relates to animal infestation, specifically raccoons. We contacted Cook County Department of Animals and Rabies Control. They will be coming out, or have come out, I should say, to address the issues and speak to the residents, and we will be monitoring that. If you have any questions or would like any additional information as it relates to animal controls, please contact the building department. As it relates to ongoing projects underway, 2126 South 17th, plans have been submitted, 1425 through 1429 Roosevelt Road. They're almost finished with that project. The strip mall located on 17th and Roosevelt Road is 90% complete, and they are looking to lease that space out. The Broadview Public Library is moving along well. The Broadview Park District, they're almost done with the concession stand. And 1811 South 17th, which is that gas station on 17th and Baton before you, that runs along the Eisenhower. They have submitted their plans and are currently being reviewed by B&F for the renovation of that gas station. Mayor, Board, that concludes my report at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Senior?
I don't have any.
Trustee Horn?
Do you have a listing of all the vacant properties that's for sale, that's owned by the village? That
We
can
do.
be shared to, general people?
I do have a listing. Anyone that is interested in taking a look at the vacant property list that the Village of Broadview owns can contact the building department. Either they can come in the office Monday through Friday, or they can contact 708-345-8174, and I'll be glad to share that information with them.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Upshaw.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next is the Finance Department. Finance Director Tim Hicks.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, residents.
Good evening.
The financial report for the month of August, we had revenues of $1.3 million. We had expenses of $900,000. Year-to-date revenues are $4.1 million, which are about $1.1 million are unfavorable to the year-to-date budget. Expenses are $3.7 million year-to-date, and that's favorable, about $1.3 million. That favorability is mostly driven by the police and fire department, based on the fact that we haven't, that the pension payments haven't been made of yet. Those pension payments are made automatically. They're taken from the village, and they just haven't been made. So that's the key drivers there. When you look at fire, $575,000, and police about $345,000. Which is driving that favorability. And just about every department throughout the village is favorable year to date, and it's only 2 months into the fiscal year. Other than that, there isn't any other anomalies or anything that we have seen out of the ordinary so far. September would be much more of a month where things will start to come into a clearer focus for us, but the village is off to a great fiscal year. We're currently underway with 3 audits: the pension audit for the fire and police, the OPEP audit, and the financial audit. So we anticipate those being done late October, early November. With that, take any questions?
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Senior?
No.
Trustee Horn?
The only Well, thank you for providing a summary. I know we had a conversation, so I can appreciate it. The only thing is, I think we need to find a way to measure the performance of Algie Ronan. I know we've had multiple conversations about it, but I don't understand how we're supposed to make an informed decision about whether or not we should maintain our service with him if we can't measure performance and how it's impacting the village. So I would make an argument that, you know, between you and Mr. Tom Hood, that we need to define what those metrics look like and start financially measuring whether or not their service is actually adding a benefit to the village. I don't know how we can tell right now, and it's been several years.
Yeah, like I've mentioned to you before, I believe this is it's not a financial metric, right? So when you look at, the chief is going to come up and talk. I don't want to steal some of her thunder, but when you look at the amount of the grants that we have been able to secure this year versus, or during this administration versus prior administration, when you look at the fact that we were included, Broadview, Little Broadview, and Big Cook County was included in the capital bill. That was the results of the lobbyists, right? So when you look at a lot of the different things that are happening, when you look at some of the grants that we've been able to obtain, that is the results of having a lobbyist that is directly lobbying on the behalf of this community and this community alone, right? Okay. Because when you look throughout all of Cook County, it was $1 billion capital bill, and we got money.
How much?
We got about $2 million for Braga Drive.
Okay, and so the fact that we were able to get $2 million tells me that we can quantify the results of their service, and we should be able to report on it.
Well, that's something that, can we directly attribute that to the lobbyists and say that?
That's my point.
You know, that's not a financial measure in terms of what we pay the lobbyist X amount of dollars. We don't pay him to go out and expect that we're going to get X dollars from that. So there's not a direct correlation, and there could be times where when you look at the amount of time that he's spending today may not produce results immediately. They could be 2-3 years from now, but those relationships and all of that the lobbyist is doing on our behalf will come to fruition, and there's just no direct correlation that we would want to present to the body to say that we spent X, we should expect Y, because it's just not a direct correlation.
We obviously disagree, but okay. Thank
Does
you.
that conclude your comment, trustee?
It does.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks.
All right.
Next, we have the Fire Department, Chief Tracy Kinney.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, and residents. This is my monthly report for August 2019. I do want to mention that part of the month of July and August, I was absent for a personal reason. And during that time, it's hard to be a chief and be away. So during that time, one of my captains, Captain Ned Thomas, stepped up and took the reins while I was gone. Attended every event that I would have been at, gave me weekly reports, just kept me informed. Came to the hospital and checked on me. Don't quite remember it, but I was glad he was there. So during that time, he really stepped up within the fire department, created a lot of trust, and because of that, yesterday we announced that he is going to be the new deputy chief. And it's not just because of that time. Truly, Captain Toma, Deputy Chief Toma, he will be sworn in the first meeting in October. But he is a true workhorse. He shows up, he puts a lot of effort in our department, and we all respect him. So with that, I'm going to go to the report. During the past month, we responded to 247 emergency calls. Those calls included our response to one automobile fire in town, 2040 South 25th, and one structure fire in Maywood, 1921 South 6th. For our our contracts, we had Loyola. The total for the month was 28 calls, Hines 32 calls, and Madden 3 calls. Our fire prevention activities were 172 for the month. We billed $19,950 for Loyola Hospital, $19,800 for Heinz VA Hospital, $3,150 for Catholic Charities, $2,250 for Madden Mental Health, for a total of $45,150 in the month of August. I just do want to reiterate one more time that we do have our public safety open house a week from tomorrow. It's going to be a whole new twist on this. We're incorporating, because we have our new dispatch center, we are going to create an entire timeline, bringing in a dispatcher as well as police and fire all together, creating a scenario from the beginning, from when you call 911 until the moment we all get there, and how long it takes for a call to happen. So I think that's very important to know as the resident, what it takes to get services to you and how hard everybody works, including our dispatchers. So it'll be a great event, a lot of fun, and especially the movie at the end. Something happened today, and I have to share it, and I'm very excited about it. We were awarded the Assistance to Firefighters grant this morning. It was a very big grant. $70,000, which, yes, it's wonderful, which gets us a new Plimovet system, which is our exhaust system that keeps the vehicle's exhaust out of the building. So just so you know, just repairing that was close to $12,000 had we done it to get the whole system repaired. To be able to replace that system is amazing. And once again, we do have a grant writer who it has paid off tenfold. Grant writing became so challenging over the past couple of years because people were having people write grants, and we weren't in that loop, and we weren't seeing that money. We didn't have a lobbyist helping us get that. And the things that we're seeing in the fire department now, as well as the police department with grants, are stuff we haven't seen in years. So it's great to have people on our side to do that. So, and that is my report.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
Not a major comment, but welcome back.
Thank you.
You are right. He stepped up, and we actually called him chief a couple times. So I'm glad you made it.
Put the deputy in front of it, and I'm all
So
good.
just put the deputy in front now, but I appreciate the fire department. You know how I feel about you guys. I just want to say, yesterday morning, I actually listened to our old voicemails from the time that I needed the fire department, and so I was in tears all yesterday. But I'm glad you're back, and I know how much you love Broadview, so we missed you.
Thank you.
Trustee Abraham?
Yes, welcome back, Chief. I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad you're all good.
Thank
Also,
you.
I want to extend to our new Deputy Chief, congratulations. He did a great job in your interim time, so he was definitely stepping it up. He was everywhere. You're absolutely right.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Trustee Singer?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We missed your pretty smile.
Thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations.
Trustee Horn?
So just for my own, welcome back.
Thank you.
Before I start talking. Just my own information, are you saying that the lobbyist is equal to the grant writer?
No, and I'll be firm about this. In the past, if we were writing grants, we did have to write letters to ask our representatives and our senators to support us and write a letter supporting us. So it does get out there that we have grants sitting out there. So we do let people know, like the lobbyists, hey, I have a grant sitting in these areas, and hopefully they know and are cheering us on.
Are you having any type of conversation with the lobbyists?
Not personally, no, not me personally. I do tell the mayor the grants that we have out there and the things that we're working on and that we need.
Are you in a position to directly attribute any grant that you've realized to the service of the lobbyists?
Say that one more time.
Are you able to identify any grants realized by your specific department
I
directly?
couldn't put a finger on that, no.
But we do have a grant writer.
Yes, we do.
Right, and that's separate from the lobbyists.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
All right, next we have the Police Department, Chief Kevin Ugly.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My report for August. The police department responded to 1,420 calls for service. 38 cases were assigned to the Detective Bureau. 13 were cleared with 3 arrests. For the year, 306 have been assigned to the Detective Bureau with 238 cleared, 44 arrests with a solvability of approximately 77% clearance rate. Some of the activities we attended was the Lindop School Back to School Parade and the Lindop School Back to School Barbecue. Some of the training, 8 hours trauma, sexual response assault training. We are sending the telecommunicators from the Ike 911 Center to enhance fire dispatch, also advanced police dispatching. We attended active shooter situations and Rescue Task Force. Vacation checks are now online. Before, you used to have to come in and fill out a yellow card if you went away on vacation. What we normally do as a service to you, we will do a perimeter check of your residence once a day. You can go online now and fill that out with the start date, end date, and it's all, the officer goes in his car in the morning and logs on, and basically it all pops up. So you no longer have to come into the station to fill out the card. We're in the process, with our grant that we got $50,000 a couple months back. We are in the process of converting all the squads to the new cameras, and we do have the new body cameras, and hopefully by October we'll have everything functioning and working, ready to go. Officer Denef is in his final stage of his field training. He's 3 weeks out from being cut loose. And the Ike 911 Center total calls for the month of August received 9,190 calls. 3,660 were for dispatch police service. So that's saying that over half the calls are regular administrative calls when you just call in the police department asking for the chief or deputy chief. So not only are they handling all the 911 emergency calls, they answer all the day-to-day calls also. So they're very busy in there and they're doing a good job. Mayor, that concludes my report.
That's it?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Horn?
Just want to say thanks for enforcing the rules. It's made a difference on my block specifically.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we have Public Works Department Director Matt Ames.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees,
Good evening.
attorneys, department heads, everybody in attendance. Our monthly report of August is on file with the clerk's office in the mayor's office. And I believe that all our elected trustees should have gotten a copy, but I will reiterate for the public's sake. We had 8 street complaints during the month. We had a property damage. We had a light pole that was struck and knocked down right out in front of the fire department here. We had 32 forestry complaints and 25 garbage complaints. We had 2 graffiti complaints. The service lines that we're replacing, we had to repair 7 of those for the meter installations. To date, we have approximately 2,306 meters installed, and that would represent about 90% of the installations that has to happen. So we are coming toward the end of that replacement program. So, Mayor, I have been out of the office for a couple days, and I would like to ask Chris Baker if he would come and comment on the construction that's taking place within the alleys and on Braga Drive. So, if that would be acceptable. Chris, please, would you come in?
Good evening. So our alley project has begun. This is a project that was funded in part by a grant from the MWRD. They're green alleys. They're being installed between 21st and 20th, just north of Roosevelt, south of Fillmore. That's the alley that's been started. Excavation has been completed. It should be, concrete should be placed on Friday. They're going to start excavating the second alley, which is, again, between Roosevelt and Fillmore, between 18th and 19th tomorrow. And concrete on that should start next week. It's moving along. The Braga Drive project is also moving along. There was substantial underground work, water main sewer that was done. As part of that, that is now complete. They switched over to begin working on the pavement this week. Actually, tomorrow they're going to be placing the concrete pavement at the intersection of Braga and Parks. So that roadway is closed right now. You can't actually get from 25th to 17th on Braga. You probably noticed the signs out front telling you that the road's closed. That project's going to be long to allow access to all the businesses and their docks. A lot of the concrete needs to be staged, so we anticipate that construction going until early November. But concrete work starts tomorrow, so we're excited.
That's good. Thank you.
Excited.
And also, you know, there is a resolution up for approval tonight, obviously for the Safe Routes to School grant. So when you talk about measuring, and this is what I do know historically, we applied for this grant back in 2010 with the current administration. We were unsuccessful. As a matter of fact, we was not considered. Okay. And at the time, we did not have a lobbyist. I will tell you this, because I know there's a lot of questions about good practices, and I will tell you from my experience. And I've been a part of the applications for grants that have reconstructed not only Braga Drive, but the alleys and some other things. At the pace that we're being awarded money, that has not happened.
Okay.
Okay, so I will say that I think it would be easy for the finance department to justify that cost benefit just by expenditures to whomever it is, Ronan or whatever the case might be, and the actual grant dollars that the Village of Broadview has received. I know, just in our capital outlay in public works, we've been able to restore most of our crumbling roads and alleys because of the grant dollars we've received, and we're,
Makes sense to me.
we're adding on to it. So that's all I have to say about that. Mayor, that concludes our department report.
Thank you, Trustee Horn.
Oh, so that makes sense to me. I mean, it has to be a way to quantify the performance. And so if you can tell me that your department is realizing monies and it's in the amount of, I just don't understand the logic that we can't quantify the performance of the lobbyists. I don't know whether or not we need a lobbyist or not until we can actually say, yes, their service exceeds the expense that we're incurring. So that makes perfect sense to me. So thank you for telling me.
Absolutely,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
But you should be able to tell her how much
Director
grant
Ames,
money we've got.
Director Ames,
But I'm sorry.
you don't have the floor.
You're absolutely correct, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Horn, does that conclude your comment? Thank you,
I
Trustee
think she
Senior.
took my comment out
Trustee
of
Abraham?
context.
None.
So-
Trustee Miller?
No comment, thank you.
Thank you, Director Ames.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, we have the Administrative Department, Village Administrator, Letisa Jones.
Some people just still want to be the mayor.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, residents, and department heads. Good evening. Good evening. In the month of August 2019, the Administrative Department, for water issues, we had 15 rereads, and for billing adjustments, we had 10. In the following departments, of course, our personnel conducted interviews with our department heads in the fire department. Fire chief already explained it, but we had 3 applicants, and with great news, like the chief said, Captain Toma, we do appreciate you for stepping up. So congratulations. In our Public Works Department, we had 6 applicants, and 3 of those applicants are potential candidates for our snow removal for this year. In the following departments, we have concluded and completed contracts. The telecommunicators, we start contract negotiations coming up because it ends next year, 2020. For police patrol, we'll start that contracts in the upcoming weeks. For sergeants, that is next year. For firefighters, that is next year as well. In the Public Works Department, it went into arbitration as of November 9th, 2018, and on behalf of the Public Works Department, SEIU submitted documents to the Labor Board explaining no agreements were made between both parties. So we have an arbitrator that we're still waiting for dates. This could take anywhere from 9 months to 2 years, based on what SEIU does. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Horn.
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Miller?
No question.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Next item is item 7, old business. We have none. Item 8, new business. A resolution authorizing and approving an agreement with J. Nardelli Concrete, Inc. for additional improvements to be completed in conjunction with IDOT Project 61F39 related to the Bragger Drive Improvements Project for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Horn, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Chris, you want to tell us about Nadali Concrete?
Sure. Narduli. So, for the Braga Drive project, being that it's federally funded, there are certain requirements that need to be followed as far as replacing concrete. And one of which is you can't go back onto private property at all. When we've got the sidewalk going right behind the back of curb on the new roadway, it goes right up to the right-of-way line. And because the roadway's changing elevations, there's some transition. We need to go back a foot or two on some of the driveways to transition down. All this is doing is it's locking in the price that we've already got from Narduli, from the federally bid project, and just creating a secondary contract that'll be paid through village funds, whose price was already in the contract. It's just creating a separate contract to do the work that was already slated to be done.
Thank you. Trustee Horn?
Nothing, thanks.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Miller?
No
Can
questions.
we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Madam President, this carries 4-0. Next item on the agenda is item B, a resolution authorizing and approving an agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for the furnishing of preliminary and design engineering services related to the Safe Routes to School Sidewalk Improvement Project for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President?
Thank you. Trustee Horn?
Nothing.
Trustee Senior?
Nothing.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Roll call. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Madam President, this carries 4-0. Next
Thank
item. Item C, a resolution authorizing and approving expenses related to the attendance at the Illinois Municipal League Conference and the Municipal Clerks of Illinois Institute and Academy for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President?
Thank you. Trustee Horn?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
None.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Roll call, please.
Roll call. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Madam President, this carries 4-0. Next item.
Thank you.
Item D, a resolution of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, appointing Leticia Jones to the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The purpose of us appointing Ms. Jones to the Water Agency, Joint Water Agency, trustee Abraham was the appointed position, but because of her work schedule has changed, we need someone that can go to the meetings, and our meetings are at 5 o'clock. So that's the purpose of appointing Ms. Jones to the Water Agency, to have the third person to represent the village. Trustee Horn?
Nothing.
Trustee Senior?
Nothing.
Trustee Abraham?
None.
Trustee Miller?
So she already knows what my comment is going to be. I just want to remind Ms. Jones that I appreciate all the work she does for the village. However, sometimes I want you to take 5 minutes off. But that's it.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, you can, Madam President. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Jones is absent. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Tierney is absent. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Madam President, this carries 4-0. Thank you. Next item, item E, a consideration of an application for a business license requested by L.C. Latuca of Able Licensed Consultants, Inc., doing business as Able Licensed Consultants, Inc., located at 2600 South 25th Avenue for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President?
Thank you. Mr. Upshaw, you want to tell us about this business?
Yes, as the clerk mentioned, Able Licensed Consultants will be located at 2600 South 25th. Able Licensed Consultants is a service company that provides license plates, permits, and authority for trucks that drive out of the state of Illinois. They directly work with the state of Illinois in Springfield, and Able License reports to the Illinois Department of Revenue quarterly fuel tax for their customers. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Horn?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Abraham?
No.
Trustee Miller?
I don't know, did you guys receive the packet about this
It wasn't
company?
attached, I asked for it separately.
Really? You didn't get it?
It wasn't in the email, that's why I asked for it.
Okay,
Yeah, I
could've
didn't.
sworn it was part of it.
Yes.
I do apologize since it wasn't. I can make copies for you real quick if needed. Yes? No?
You want to table it to the?
Yeah, I would rather we actually physically have it. I don't know why everybody wouldn't have questions about it.
I did, that's why I asked.
Okay, but,
appreciate
I mean, still 6 other
So
people.
this will be tabled to the next board meeting.
Well, we got a motion on the floor.
No, we have a motion.
So, at this time, can I entertain a motion to table to the next board meeting?
I make a motion that we table item E to the following board meeting.
Need a second.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Senior to table to the next board meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, this will be tabled to the next board meeting. Thank you. Item 9, application for the authority to expend funds. We have none. Item 10, village clerk reports. I have a couple of things I want to mention. First, I want to give kudos to two departments, the Public Works Department and the Building Department. Starting with Public Works, you know, when I drive to work in the morning, every morning, I drive around and I see all of the residents that take pride in their properties. They're, whether they're doing the lawns or doing improvements to the properties, people love being in Broadview. And that certainly helps when Public Works is keeping the streets clean. Street sweeper woke me up this morning, and on the way to work, I saw it in another part of Broadview. We have the cleanest streets around, and I dare someone to challenge that. The filling of the potholes, we always see the guys out cleaning up a brush. I was out there today and I saw them, the whole team, working in unison, cleaning up the brush. The village of Broadview looks good, so thank you, Public Works Department. The Building Department, I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. I was out again and I noticed some of the contractors doing work, and, you know, I don't see everything, and I'm sure the Building Department doesn't, but our inspector, Greg Buchanan, has been out there checking these contractors that seem to think that it's the wild, wild west in Broadview, especially on the weekends. They come in and they don't feel that a permit is needed, and they do the contract work, and it's hurting Broadview. Not only the residents that possibly could get hurt by contractors that are not registered, or, you know, work that is not being properly done. But believe me, these ordinances have been in place. We're enforcing not only these ordinances, but the dog license ordinances, the parking ordinances, and this is not something new that just appeared on the books. These ordinances have been in place, and if you ever need assistance navigating the website, which they are on, Village of Broadview, broadview-il.gov, please contact my office and I'll help you find any ordinances that you need to find. Sterling Codifiers is who we codify through, and these are the people that list these ordinances officially. So with that being said, Madam President, I wanted to let all residents know that my office is open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. if they wish to contact me, and I can help navigate to any ordinances out there. With that being said, that concludes my report. Next item is item 11, Village President, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer, but I just want to clear up some information and some inaccuracies. So I had an opportunity to review the last board meeting and the one that I was absent from. In the conversation as it relates to Al Ronan, our lobbyist, it was stated that we've paid him over $100,000. That's not true. His contract is very specific in the first one that we initiated and then now in this one that we have initiated. When you talk about lobbying and services provided to the village, I don't know how many people know that we do have 118 House of Representatives in the House, and we have 59 in the Senate. We have one representative, Representative Emmanuel Chris Welch is our representative for the 7th District, and Senator Leifer, who's the majority leader in the 4th District for the Senate. So we only have 2 legislators that represent the village of Broadview. So when you talk about the conversation as it relates to having a lobbyist and if it's important for the village to have a lobbyist, when you talk about the funding that comes from a state opportunity, that's a benefit to the community. So we had this conversation prior to the board meeting before, in my absence, and we gave out some numbers to the body, the elected officials, on what that number looked like for us. I don't know how many people follow legislation that legislate with me, but I follow the legislation. And so a lot of the summaries that we get from our lobbyists is about legislation of things that matter. So when we look at bills like a House bill or a Senate bill, we get to say which one is going to be more advantageous for the village of Broadview, that he has to lobby for us to get the resources that we need. So keep in mind the state of Illinois haven't had a capital bill in many, many years. And so in this last General Assembly, they passed the capital bill, which was $40 billion capital bill. All communities didn't get in the statute of allocated resources to come to their community. But what we did get out of that capital bill, because we have 2 phenomenal legislators in the House and in the Senate, on top of having a lobbyist, because they have to work with their colleagues to negotiate the budget, just like we do. We talk about the budget and we come up with a consensus on what that looked like as legislators for the local level for Broadview. When you're talking about 118 in the House, and we only have 1, and 59 in the Senate, and we only have 1. And they got to work with their colleagues to get things done. But when you have a lobbyist, because they lobbying for other things, for other communities that they represent, they just don't represent Broadview, they represent other communities, the 2 that we do have. So they have to make sure that they get resources for those communities, for the people that they serve. But when you have a lobbyist, they're able to work through the other legislators to get things done for the village of Broadview, or if he have other contracts with other communities that he lobby for, he's lobbying at large. So when we get the summary, we look at the legislation, we see what's important to Broadview. And so things that come up about, I'll share with the chief, fire, the police chief, public works, or the building, and say which ones do we want the lobbyists to entertain, because I don't do operations, I oversee the operations. The legislators that sit on this dais with me, they legislate policies and procedures for us. But the department heads do the actual work. So it's important for me that I get the bills to them so that they can give input, so that we can have that conversation on what's going to be best for Broadview. And the capital bill that got approved by the legislators that represent us, we were able to get in the state statute $2.2 million. That's for the Roosevelt Road to Salt Creek bike path. That's $2.2 million. If we had not had a lobbyist and the 2 phenomenal legislators that we have on board, we probably wouldn't have got a dime. Because I can't be in Springfield to advocate and talk to all these legislators at any given time. I'm not a lobbyist. I don't do that every day. And so to pay $40,000 for a contract to secure $2.2 million for something that we need, and I got the numbers from Public Works and from Chris, and I gave it to, I had a meeting with Representative Welch, I had a meeting with Senator Leifer, and I had a meeting with the lobbyists and said, this is what we need. What I presented for the capital bill was a $30 million capital bill just for the village of Broadview. We knew we couldn't get everything, but we did get $2.2 million. We did get $250,000 for the fire department, for the roof. And so I've had these conversations on this board as it relates to the importance of having a lobbyist and how you successfully look at what success look like. You can't tell me you pay somebody $40,000 and you secure millions of dollars of revenue that's going to come back and we don't have to pay a dime on it. That's number 1. Number 3, when we talk about the senior housing. So Dave and I worked on the senior housing project to with Ida and going through that, and we worked with our legislators, our representative, our senator, and the lobbyists. We secured $13 million. And the first time we submitted the application to get the senior housing development project, we were told at that meeting when we got awarded that that has never happened in any municipality to be awarded the first time. So I say kudos to our legislators, Senator Leifer, who's the majority leader, and Representative Welch, and our lobbyists for doing a good job. They did their jobs. They serve our community by bringing resources here. And to Matt's point, when you look at the revenue on, I wasn't here 10 years ago and how they got things, but when we talk about relationships, so I'm listening to this audio, and they're talking about relationships with Al Ronan, with the relationships with the Delgado Group, but everything that we do is about relationships. And the reason why we wasn't getting nothing, because the former mayor didn't have no relationships. That's a fact. Because if he did, resources would have been coming during his 2 terms. That didn't happen. So I want to be real clear on how we look at what success looked like. The bills are available to the legislators. Trustee Abraham, she puts out an email. I don't see it, but she tells me she sends an email for the trustees to let them know that the bills are available for review. Many trustees don't come until the night of the board meeting to review bills. You don't have to call me directly, but you can call a department head, you can call the finance team to get all your questions answered before you get here and talk about bills. The other thing that came up in the conversation was the $3,000 for T-shirts. Yes, we paid $3,000 for T-shirts. But let me give you guys the facts. We have a health fair that we've been doing for the past 2 years, and we asked for sponsorships. In that sponsorships, we secured $9,000. The T-shirts came out of the sponsors that sponsored that event so that we can do more for the community. And guess what? Al G. Ronan was a sponsor of that event. So when we talk about the relationships that we don't just have anybody on our team that we know we can't do business with or it's not a good outfit for the village of Broadview, because when I ran to be the mayor in this town, I stood on transparency, accountability, honesty, and we're gonna be fiscal responsible. That's what I ran on, and that's my commitment to this community. I'm not gonna sit back and just let these ideas come out on how you feel about a certain thing, but when we talk about T-shirts, the T-shirts, we didn't charge the residents a dime for nothing that we gave them. Not 1 cent, because our sponsors believe in our community to give back to the community so that our community can have more. That's relationships. That's doing a service to our community to make sure that we have what we need to deliver a good product. The deposit. So on the credit card statement, the deposit was 2 deposits. It was two charges of $1,500. And I just want to clear it for the record so that you all know that we're not doing anything unethical. We're transparent in everything that we deliver, whether it's from the mayor's office, the fire chief office, the police chief, the building department, public works, or the finance department. We do everything in decent, in order, in transparency and honesty. The first deposit, well, anytime you make a big purchase, the company that you do business with, they want a deposit. So we had to give them a 50% deposit. So that's the first $1,500. The second $1,500 was the final payment when we received the goods and we approved what we asked for. So that's a total of $3,000 for T-shirts. And every year since I've been in office, we've been supporting Roosevelt School Back to School, and we've been supporting Lindop Back to School. And the backpacks that were charged, those backpacks went to the students that we represent in Broadview. So that's where that conversation went. So I just want to clear the record and just be real authentic with everybody on how this looked. When we talk about, so issues that came up about the water bills, how, people had excessive water bills and stuff, and I was one of them. But I just wanted to just kind of look and try to monitor some things with this smart meter, because they said they had to have it timed to, and I've had some high water bills that I don't never have. And so, so what I did is I changed my toilet, and I went to a energy efficient toilet, and I got my water bill today, and I was like, it was me. My water bill was $39. It haven't been $39 in the last 90 days. So sometimes we have to be proactive and not be, on the defense side all the time saying something is wrong, something is wrong. Sometimes we have to kind of monitor things in our own homes to fix a problem. And mine was, I'm going to say the toilet, because my water bill just decreased like I was happy to see it. I couldn't wait to get it. I've been checking the mail every day for it. But I just want to be, when we talked about bringing the lobbyists on board, Trustee Jones was for the lobbyists. He voted for the lobbyist contract the first time. And I don't know what the issues are as it relates to the lobbyists. I've spoken with the lobbyists. I speak to them on a regular basis because we're talking about legislation that matters when you're following legislation. I have not gotten one call from one trustee to say, you know what, I'm interested in this bill. Can we follow it? What do the lobbyists have? I haven't gotten one call from the trustees to say, you know what, can you invite the lobbyists to come and speak at a board meeting to give us some updates? I haven't gotten any of those calls. And when I asked the lobbyist, Mr. Ronan, about that today, he said he hasn't even got one call or one email, and then when he first came on board with the Village of Broadview, he extended that to every trustee that was here, that if you got any questions or concerns, you can always call me. So it's kind of surprising that we're having this conversation and we trying to quantify what success looks, but if you can't look at it and see millions of dollars being allocated out of $40 billion capital bill, and the fire department is having some success now, congratulations, on receiving some funding, and the chief is receiving some funding as it relates to what we do for policing, but the lobbyist is not just the lobbyist for me, he's the lobbyist for the fire department, the police department, public works, building, and administration. And guess what else he's the lobbyist for, that we take the bill for? He's the lobbyist for our local schools. He's the lobbyist for our libraries, because anything that pertain to Broadview, he's going to make sure that we always are in the know on what takes place for what the lobbyists to do for the residents and the constituents that pay taxes that help pay his salary. So he is held accountable to the highest standard, and if I'm going to be held to the highest standard by this community, everybody that work up under my leadership is going to be held to that same standard, and that includes all trustees as well. And I'm standing on that. So with that being said, I just want to say good night, thank you, God bless you, and can I get a motion to adjourn?
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Horn, seconded by Trustee Senior to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are hereby adjourned at 8:58 p.m. Thank you.